So I just lost a screw on this, never to be found again. It was a little itty bitty black screw that goes on the back of this. What I liked about this was this covers up the power button so that you can't turn it off. But it's not going to have this cover now because it was a very fine thread black screw and it just went down into my black mulch. So it's gone forever. And I was going to start this review off bad because this camera, I could not get this to work here for a little while. It was not working, and I found out the solar panel was working, but this I just could not get connected to it. And I messed with it and messed with it. Well, here the battery was going dead on this because I must have moved my router, and this could not connect to my router for some reason. It was already spotty, like because I'm so far away from my router, but it would not connect to this. So now I brought this one down here and found that this one's not connecting to my router. It connects fine up there at my house, but once I bring it down here, it's not connecting. So this was not the camera's fault, this was my fault. But they sent me out this one out for a review. I'll find the model number when I go up to the house, but it has dual cameras. It has a spotlight that shines bright out of this. Each camera has its own view. The night vision looks awesome. I would have thought with these antennas it would have got better reception, but I'm gonna have to go up and mess with my router and see if I can get this to reconnect to this, and then I can show you the image quality on that. But that's also nice to know that this one's still working, because now I can set this one up somewhere else and still have another camera, and the solar panel is still working as well. What you're going to do is you're going to download the reolink app, and then you have to scan a code on the back here. I reset it. Now it's whispering sweet nothings in my ear in many different languages. It does start with English. Just so you know. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Then after you do that, then it asks to scan now, gives you a QR code, and you scan it with the camera. I have. Connection to the router succeeded. There you go. They make it pretty easy for you, honestly. Check it out. So here we are. We're connected. You can see the dual cameras. Now, even though my connection's slow, but it's working, it is really slow. I have a memory card in it, so it is always going to be recording. So if it does pick up something and for some reason it doesn't come through to my phone, it's still going to be on the camera, which is really good. The camera has a spotlight feature. There it is. Look how bright that freaking is. At nighttime, that's going to be wild. Now if I can get it to shut off. There we go. Pretty neat. Actually, you want to know why it was working so slow? Because my phone didn't have the best connection down there. Now that I'm up at the house, it's playing just as smooth as can be. So that was all that it needed, was to switch the Wi-Fi signal. That one actually reaches. So this is, it's going to work out now. You know, maybe I'm not the best with electronics. I don't know. It's the reolink Duo. D-U-O. And it has its own battery. You can talk through it. It has a microphone, which it talked to me. If you're lonely, just get it so it can talk to you. It'll send automatic alerts to your phone. You can go in, check them. If you put a memory card in it, it'll record everything and keep it on there so you don't lose anything. It's a wide angle view, 100% wire free. It's down there with the solar panel. The solar panel will charge it, and it's going to work out pretty neat. So if you guys want to get your hands on one of those, there'll be a link in the description with a discount code. Go ahead and hit them up. So as you can see, just like I said, this one little loop right here, instead of just making that a separate piece, you can see they made it part of that skirt that goes back there. Now none of this is bent. It kind of pulled this away a little bit, but it's not really that bad. Right here is where the main damage is at, and here, which we're going to be replacing this part, and then this we're going to have to work on. As you can see, we're probably still going to have some damage area here, but it just annihilated this mount, and same with that one. It ripped it completely off. The best part about it though is that this is still here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut that off, spot welds, and then I'm going to take my 20 gauge steel that I have, which is thicker than this, and I'm going to lay this, what's left of it, down on the steel, trace it out. Might make it a little bit wider here, because instead of doing spot welds, I think I'm just going to tack it around the outside. Same with that side. That one has a wider face, and then that one has 2 wide ends on it. And then I can bend my own brackets. Instead of buying these, which are going to be like probably $25 a piece plus shipping, so you probably have like $60 in these very thin brackets that I'm just going to make without the holes in them. You know, it's just going to be a flat bracket. I'll smooth it out. We'll paint it. It'll look good. But right here is the worst part of it. This piece needs to be straight, and as you can see, it's twisted. And as for this right here, I'm going to pull on this while it's still on the car. But like I said, we got all new piece over here, which I want to kind of paint before we put in. I'm just going to paint it with white, and then we can throw it in the car, which I'm going to have to grind some of the white paint off to get it welded and everything. But I want to get most of it painted up. So we're going to have to clean this up and paint this. Yes, this is the bent one off of the other car, but it wasn't bent too bad. So kind of straightened that side back out whenever we took it off. Right here, got a little bit of a kink in it. I'll mess with this a little bit with a hammer and dolly. But as for the rest of it, it's fine. And then we just need that part right there. And I guess while I'm at it, might as well go ahead and take the hood off. I am going to be painting the hood hinges. I got brand new ones. So I'll paint those white. When I paint that white, and then I also, with my brand new hood that I got, I don't know if you noticed that, but it came damaged. I don't recommend you do this. I did not intentionally mean to do this, but I got one heck of a deal on this brand new hood. And by a heck of a deal, I got it for completely free. So it came in the mail. The box was like really beat up, but the only damages I can find was it bent this edge over right here where the grill's at. It's got a slight dent right here in the center. Not very bad. We can work with that. And then it bent the one edge, like the side here. It bent it down there near the bottom. Now, none of this is really that bad at all. Way better than what I was going to have to deal with this. But I emailed, like with the receipt that came with this, it had, if you have any problems with shipping, to email this email. So I emailed them, sent them the 3 pictures of the dents. They emailed me right back. Well, not right back, but when they emailed me back, they said, we are issuing you a refund, and you'll see it within a couple days. This hood is out of stock. Just keep the damaged one on us. So I got a brand new hood for completely free, which was not my intention at all, and it's not something that I recommend you do. But, I mean, it is a brand new hood. It did come damaged. I am definitely thankful for that, because that was about $500. So it's awesome. That puts us like really good on track with this thing. But before I popped the condenser off, I popped these caps off while I was disassembling it. Tapped them real quick to make sure there wasn't anything in the system. No pressure at all, because obviously that one has a hole in it. So we were good to pop the lines off. So I have a brand new condenser. I have a brand new radiator. I got brand new radiator hoses, which are not specifically made for this one. They don't really make a hose kit for this, but almost every Subaru is about the same, the way they're made. So like I figured it was going to work, and it does. So the one radiator hose comes off, obviously goes that way. I have it fitted on the radiator already. That's the bottom one in there, and then there's a whole bunch of small ones, and I'm going to look into putting them on. But some of them are like vacuum hoses. I'm going to put as many of those on here that I can. It's just going to, you know, make it look nice. These hoses are actually really nice. $45 for the kit for all these hoses. But it's going to make this thing look a lot better underneath here. Then I got the intake. I got all kinds of goodies for on this thing. And I do see that this is a 2016. The last one was a 2013. So it's kind of like deja vu what's going on here. But I did notice a big difference here. They strengthened up this frame rail over here. That one that I just did not have this cross beam in here. This is something that they added in the newer years, and that really strengthens this thing up.
I have car cleaning stuff. Like just clean my inside.
Oh, I can clean your insides
whenever you want.
So I did notice this thing has like all LED interior lights. I thought, well, maybe that's something they did with the newer Subarus. But then I also got into the fog lights, and it has these LEDs in the fog lights, and I really don't think that's factory. So somebody did do a little bit of upgrading on this thing, nothing spectacular, but yeah, it's still nice to see. I got like some upgrades. I know that stuff doesn't really add value to a vehicle when it comes down to selling. Well, it used to never. I don't know. Nowadays, it kind of does. People like to buy cars that already have a whole bunch of things done to them. Honestly, I do too. But in the past, they used to not add any value to your car if you had aftermarket parts. It's just whatever the value was, it is. And it's just not how it kind of goes anymore. Anyways, let's get my puller out. And I'm going to start tugging. Give it a good old tug. And we'll see what happens.
We were bike dirt tires on paved concrete, on the right roads, just had the wrong wheels. But I see you back in town, same shortcut jeans, my head still spins, my heart still feels like riding a bike, just you and I down a long back road, your brown hair blowing in the wind like it did that day, and all those teenage summer nights when I love you, you love me too. It was so easy, still get that feeling when our eyes meet. I can hop back on our love like riding a bike, like riding a bike. 'Cause babe, our hands still fit, you still get that smile, and you winding curves still drive me wild, and bring me right back to wishing I didn't have to go, and thinking maybe we should give it one more try tonight. Just take it slow like riding a bike, just you and I down a long back road, your brown hair blowing in the wind like I did that day, and all those teenage summer nights when I loved you, you loved me too.
Now, this doesn't look the best right now. Believe me, it's probably still not going to look the best after we fix it. But the spot welds, that one right there by the clamp, and then this one right here are lined up. So what I'm going to do is take a drill bit and hit that, get it nice and shiny there. Do the same with this one. Get a couple tacks in there to get that welded, and then I'll work on getting the rest of them lined up. And then back here, once we get these two in, we can hammer on that a little bit. That needs to come up some. The inner fender is going to have to come out to do that. But we're on the right track. This is getting back to shape. This, like I said, this bracket's not bent, but you can see where it ripped out. So we can weld that from the inside where it ripped out at. The bottom spot weld's still holding, but as you can see, it's getting there. We need to get all of this attached first before we can start bending that. We're pretty mangled up in here, so we're just gonna have to do our best to get all this lined up and see how it looks. And then we'll have to clean up these spot welds, and then maybe we can get the new piece of core support on here already. Didn't think we were gonna get that far today, but we might do it today.
Still get that feeling when our eyes meet. I can hop back on our love like riding a bike, like riding a bike, like riding a bike, like riding a bike. You got that red on the pilot that you always wanted, and I'm on the road still playing. Sometimes I wonder if it would have
Okay, so here's where I'm at. I got all the spot welds in right there. Seam sealed that. That looks pretty good. Problem I'm having now is I got this bracket welded on where it's supposed to be. As you can see, this dips down. It's supposed to come straight across, angle, and then go straight up. As you can see, we have a dip and it angles down. So the problem here is that is not up high enough. Now I measured that side, hoping, you know, it's kind of about the same, and what I'm getting from the ground to about this point right here is pretty close to 29 inches on that side, and I'm getting just under 28 inches on this side. So this needs to come up like an inch. So I need to continue pulling on this right here, and what I'm going to do is pull out here on the end. Hopefully we can get that pulled up. And another thing that's showing me that that is dipped down, it's dipped down right where the strut tower is right here. It's pushed down right there. There's a wrinkle in the back corner. So while and I did put seam sealer on that because I didn't think that was going to come out. But what I'm going to do is while I'm pulling up on the end of this, I'm going to hammer on this section back in here, which I need to charge my battery now. In fact, I'm just going to go grab another camera. And I'm going to hammer on this, and hopefully this will let this from here up pull up. So we're going to work on that. We're going to watch this while we're doing it, and hopefully we get a good outcome. Also, I think I saved this mount, kind of messed with it some. I think we're going to be able to use that and spot weld this back one here. So that saves me from making two mounts. I only have to make one. Another casualty that I didn't notice until now. Nice. This has to come off to get the windshield replaced, so I'm going to have to find one in the meantime. Might make a parts run. I know where I got the fender for that one. I'm going to go back and look at my video and see if this looked like it was okay, because this is an expensive piece if you just buy it online. So let me look. Alright, I grabbed my other camera. I got a couple things I want to do here before I finish up for the day for this video. First off, I want to remove this cowl. And the guy, I contacted him about putting my windshield in. That's going to happen next weekend. He said there's clips, the square clips, he said on the bottom, to use a 6mm socket on a small ratchet or a 1/4 inch, and you can pop them out with the grommet and not break them. Now, I don't even know what he's talking about, to be honest with you. Okay, I see them. Those clips right there. He said you push up on them and they come out. He said they'll break otherwise. So yeah, okay, I know what he's talking about now, and I'll have to remember that when I go to the junkyard, because I'm going to need to get those off. And it looks simple enough. I'm going to get that clip off there, and I'm sure there's another one. Yeah, there's one over there, and then there's a washer hose on there. So, and the wiper blades have to come off. So let's just jump into that. Oh, I also removed this, and off camera I did get this up. So now you can see it's actually might be up too far, I don't know, but it's pretty even now. And then that's the angle it's supposed to have, and then it goes up, bent that bracket. It looks like it's where it's supposed to be. Everything's looking really good on this. The only thing downside is it's got kind of a little bit of a slope in it right there, but that's not going to hurt anything, so not worried about that. Also, I want to weld that on, since I have that. And I took the other one off so I can trace this and make a different mount. So I think there was another piece. I'm trying to look at this. It don't look like there was. There's like this comes down off of here, and you can see it on that one. I don't know if that's on the fender or if it's on here, but it's got a clip in. Maybe it's on the fender. You know what? I'm not sure if that's part of the fender or part of the mount. It's still stuck on there. I think that's part of the mount. It's still stuck on there. Yeah. So let me get that off, because I'm going to need to trace that too. Hammer that out so I can trace it. Custom. Listen, when a buddy of yours or somebody that works at Safelite gives you a tip on how to do something, you listen to them, because that was made that like worlds easier. So if you got to take this cowl off, he said only if it's the square head ones, which I didn't know what he was talking about. But if you look down in there, every one of these has a square head on it. You can kind of see this one right here, 6mm pushed up on it, and the whole thing comes up out. That's a nice tip. They came out real easy. Every single one of them, he said they'll break. Otherwise, not a single one of these is broken. But it doesn't really matter because I'm getting another one. So, yeah, there's that. But it still has the washer nozzles and all the other things on it. It's just that we shattered her right here, and I don't want that on mine. So that was pretty nice. Now, if you notice, I made my own bracket. I'm very pleased with it. It came out pretty good. All I did was I laid out there's 3 pieces of it there. One part was on the fender that had the nuts and stuff on it, and the nuts were about to fall off of that. So I laid them down on a piece of metal, traced around the outside, and then just cut my own bracket out of 20 gauge, and just sanded it down. It almost looks factory, except for the fact that it had, like, you know, a notch hole in it here, and probably another, I think there was another hole there. Might be for like a push pin or something. So we're gonna have to see whenever we go to put that. That's that inner liner there. When we go to put that in, I might have to drill another hole in this. But this is actually sturdier than this, so it's actually better than the factory one. And if it's not lined up right, you can bend it. I mean, it's stiff, but it can be bended. So that's why I went ahead and I spot welded it where the factory one was. The welds don't look the best. It's all right. That's fine. What I'm going to be doing next episode, because I'm done for today, is all of these areas that I sanded off. The core support, which I got to take some of that off. But the core support, the hood hinges, maybe the underside of the new hood. Maybe we'll go ahead and do that. We need to hit those with paint. We need to get them covered up. I'm going to have to weld some of that. So we're going to have to touch it with, like, spot paint it with some stuff. But I want to let all that sealer dry. This sealer up here, I want it to dry. It's starting to get tacky now. So whenever we spray paint over that, it sticks pretty good. Also need to hit everything with Scotch-Brite over in here and stuff, and I got to tape off a whole bunch of stuff as well. Now, I spent my whole day on this section pretty much, but I mean, you can't deny the results for using what was left. That turned out pretty well, so I'm not going to complain. I'm happy with that. There are other things I did off camera, like I fixed, well, you know, I kind of fixed the clip's broken on that, so I put a zip tie through it. But the fan regulator, I got those wires reconnected. The horn, I put a new end on that and hooked that up, which I think there's another horn too. I think, yeah, there's one right there in the center. But next weekend, my buddy's coming. We're going to be replacing this windshield. He gave me a really good price on it. I'm definitely going to tip him because he does really good work. So we're going to do that. This windshield has heating elements in it, and I think almost every Subaru has that. So when you have your heat on, it heats the windshield where your wipers sit, so they don't get frozen to the windshield. I don't know why all cars don't do that, but Subaru, I know, has been doing it for years, and I think that's a pretty neat feature. Also, as you can see, it looks like everything else is pretty fairly straight. I don't see anything damaged. I mean, besides what we messed with here, I think the main frame rails, the front bumper bar, the middle of the core support, I think all of that is fine. Oh, let me do one last thing on this video. I have a custom piece for this, and right now, while we're in this situation here, where everything's wide open, I need to weld some sheet metal on there so that we can mount this, because this is made for a WRX and not for this car. So as you see it there, you know, you think, well, maybe it'll line up with the brackets on there. No, it doesn't. You need to bring it out, and probably needs to go up like this. And there's actually standoffs in this kit, but they're two different sizes. I don't know if we're going to use them or not. And it comes with bolts to compensate for those too. And kind of want it centered like that. We'll see. I'm going to have to custom make some bracketry here. Let me see what I come up with, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, so what those brackets were, I welded on there, were off of the busted core support that came off the car. It was these right here. And then I did have to cut them down because it ended up hitting the angle in the front. But, there we go. Kind of wanted to have it like centered with the intake manifold. Oh, it does. It's going to protect the belt, but it's just kind of like for show. There's really nothing there, but yeah, the plastic cover that was on it, one of the tabs broke, so you couldn't attach it right. So this is attached to the factory bracket. I just welded a couple more tabs on, and there you go. So like I said, next episode, I'm going to be painting a bunch of stuff, and hopefully we can start installing stuff. I'm going to use sealer primer. It kind of dries pretty fast, and I don't have to use a whole lot of it. It gets really good coverage. Under the hood, I might have to spray a couple coats, but it's just white. It's not pearl white, so it's going to be a little off. We got brand new hood hinges to put on. We got lots to do. We just now dove into this, so body work wise, we're looking pretty good. Now it's just we do have to do body work on that fender, a little bit on that hood, and the rest is just paint and installing new parts. So if you'll excuse me, I have to clean up this garage. I got stuff everywhere. I need to be able to pull the car in so I can shut the doors, and I got a heck of a mess, which you'll see here at the end of the video. So if you like this video, smash that like button, consider subscribing, hit that dislike button if your mom's dreams were shattered whenever she found out that I was married. And we'll see you on the next episode on Rex. I swear 90% of your day is in these beds, isn't it? You don't even want to talk about it. At least you're nice. Huh? What are you doing? What are you doing in there? What? Daddy, leave me alone. Tell me a story. Yeah? Is that all you got to say? What are you trying to do? Bite me? You want to say bye?